Hello and welcome to this preview video of lines 702 to 852 of Maria Headley's translation of Beowulf. One of the reasons Beowulf, I think, is very commonly taught is not that it's necessarily easy, but it's real easy to teach somewhat superficially if I think you want to make that choice for whatever reason. And I think you could look at it as just a hero's adventure or three central battles. So here, I just want to offer a few things to think about before reading and listening to these lines that tell almost entirely of the first of three great fights within the poem Beowulf. I begin class with Brian Turner's poem Hurt Locker. Check him out. He's a veteran of the War on Terror in Iraq and Afghanistan and a great poet. So first, I just want to point out a few things. And to be honest, rather than really top down explain and interpret, maybe offer a few questions for consideration as you read and listen. First, before we see Grendel in action, I think it's interesting to pay attention to his battle strategy, his movements, and his connection to God. So if you go to line 710, we learn right away he's hidden by fog. So he gets the use of, manipulating lighting. He attacks at night so he can't be seen. And then it said he's in the same line that he's God cursed and grudge worsening. That Grendel holds a grudge, and we've learned previously that the thing that sets him off is listening to song and celebration and community. So the thing that is he can't experience is what sets him off to attack. And then throughout this passage, I would write in the margin, Grendel's motive and battle strategy. And there's some really interesting moments about how he moves and what his motives are for destruction. So I just have three things to consider, and maybe write these down in your book or in your notes, just to sort of anchor yourself in the reading. And these are for the subsequent pages 34, 35, 36, 37. And here are a few questions to consider as you read and listen. First, what do we know about Beowulf and Grendel's strengths? And how does that knowledge help us make predictions about the battle? So not simply who wins, but how the battle goes, where it takes place, what time it takes place, what strategies are used, what weapons are used, if any. Before going into the battle, think of what we know about Beowulf. You've never seen Beowulf fight. We've heard him tell stories. We've seen him talk. We've seen him be convincing rhetorically, but we haven't seen him actually fight with his hands. So, and we know what Grendel has done for years at night to Heorot. So first, what do we know about these two characters and how do we make predictions? So I would be prepared to think about this as you read. Secondly, there is a winner, decidedly, and it's probably clear who it is. Come to some sort of interpretation for yourself about why the winner of this fight wins. Not simply that you know who it is, but in your view, in your reading of the poem, what does the poet suggest in terms of why the winner of this fight wins? And lastly, and I'm always out to have my students notice things on their own, not simply pay attention to what I care about. I'm just one reader. So pay attention for surprising moments during the battle. Maybe it's an image, maybe it's a choice one of the characters makes, or maybe it's a peculiar detail that you're not expecting, a sound, a setting, a flashback, something that you're not expecting. And then note it in your book, note this surprising moment, and then maybe ask the next question, what do you think this moment is doing here? So these are just some things to consider before entering into this great first battle. I think the battles get increasingly interesting, actually. But I think these questions and sort of comments will root you in the reading. But see what you notice too. Good luck with your reading.